All right, peace and blessings, family. It's yours truly. I am Amar Mari. I am the CEO of El Kebalan Lifestyle Synergetic Network Group LLC. My queen Amani Amari is the executive director of all of the above. I'm also the founder of El Kebalan Unity Alliance, and we are also real estate investors. Give me the time to introduce myself. I am a native of Rochester, New York. I was born and raised there. And the story of Nipsey Hussle actually is inspiring me to talk about my life with you on the day. And as I think about, our brother being 33 years old, losing his life, it saddens my heart. My queen and I, we invest in property in Memphis, Tennessee, and while I was up there, we seen a lot of poverty. We seen the way people lived, man, their lives. And it really just had touched my heart. And then shortly thereafter, I heard about our brother Nipsey Hussle losing his life at the age of 33 years old. And it just really moved me to be able to talk about this situation because, I don't talk about it a whole lot. I only share it, to just inspire. And when I was 15 years old, my best friend got his brains blew out at 14 years old. Before I graduated high school, I lost a lot of friends. In fact, one of my friends was 18 years old. Lost his life from being shot by an undercover cop. He got into a shootout with the undercover cop. And, prior to my friend's transitioning, I tried to talk them out of, living the street life. And, some of my friends, they took heed to what I said and others didn't. And, they lost their life. And I tell you, man, I don't see anything glamorous about what had transpired. The only thing I seen was mothers crying. I seen a lot of pain. I didn't see anything good coming out of hustling. Okay, and being a gangbanger. I didn't see nothing good come out of that because I seen families torn apart. I seen mothers raising the children by, herself. And there was just nothing beautiful about it at all. You know what I'm saying? I seen what drugs can do. I had family members who are former drug addicts. I seen what the drugs did to the family. And on these hardcore videos, that they put out there, these gangster rap videos, they show you, the glitz and the glam. They show you the money. They show you the women. They show you the nice cars and the jewelry and the clothes. But let the truth be told, brothers are watching their back in the streets. I'm from the streets, man. I hung around real G's. And these brothers was always watching their back all the time. Some of the brothers, man, were constantly up late at night looking out the window. I seen my neighborhood from going to be like a suburb to being a war zone right in front of my eyes due to crime and drugs and alcoholism. I had friends because their mothers were strung out on drugs. They would literally come over to my house so they could have a meal. I had a friend that seen me get into my house because my mother, she wasn't home. We didn't have, a key at the time. So, we had to do what we had to do until we get the key to the house. So she showed me how to get in there. So he was with me. And that same person, the same person I was telling you about who was experiencing a impoverished life, I came back home a few hours later. This same person had broke into my house and was standing in my refrigerator eating food. With that being said, we have to get our lives together. We have to turn to morals. The conflict resolution to our problem is actually teaching us to love us. Teaching us how to solve our issues without being violent. And the only way we can do this is ridding ourselves of what's intoxicating us and us being under the influence of buffoonery, of hatred, the hatred of self. And when I say the hatred of self, I'm talking about us hating one another and hating our culture. And the only way that we can get this social ill out of our community, the remedy is what has intoxicated us, the injection of lies about ourselves. And the only way we can heal this social ill is going back to the moral principles that we once subscribed to when our ancestors came over here before they were enslaved. It's to go back to our spiritual teachings and to go back to teaching us to love us, to be family. Understand me clearly. I grew up in the ghetto. My mother, and I'm going to just say this across the board for the elders in my family. You know, I know everybody's situation is different, but my elders taught me and my family that we're supposed to love each other. We're supposed to take care of each other. That's what I was taught. My mother told me, she said, baby, she said, your skin is beautiful. You have beautiful dark skin. My mother called me her chocolate baby. And guess what? I don't feel weak talking about this because I love my mother. I have no problem. Love is actually strength. And because the lack thereof in our communities, this is what's destroying us because of the lack of love. So I believe that love is a superpower. Love is what's going to give us strength. Love is what's going to bring us back to our right mind. And the reason why we're out of our mind, because we've been miseducated. What mind is that? The African mind. The reason why we are in the dilemma that we're in, because we're not living by moral principles that we once subscribed to. We have external and internal attacks. We have outside issues and inside issues. Why don't our people have any peace? Think about that. How can we have peace if we constantly fight? We fighting people outside of us, then we're fighting people on the inside of us. This is one reason why our people are so miserable. And listen, the only way we can remedy this problem is get rid of the problem. Get rid of that which is causing the problem. And what's causing this problem is the miseducation of our minds by the Europeans and by our own people. Gangster rap needs to be banned. I have a problem with it because they glorify this life, and that's why I wanted to share my story with you, because I didn't see nobody living a glamorous life bearing their son. My friend mother, she wasn't happy. His brothers and sisters wasn't happy. Both of my friends, brothers and sisters and family members and friends, none of us was happy. All of us was miserable. All of us was crying. I didn't see drugs making people, issues better. I seen drugs and alcoholism making our issues worse. In fact, I would hear people who was intoxicated still talking about their problems, man. And for some who don't know, alcoholism is actually a depressant. I was a substance abuse control officer when I was enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I dealt with people who have these problems. Alcohol is actually a depressant. It makes you even more sorrowful. It makes you miserable. Now, of course, you know, you still have alcohol that affects people in various ways because you have what they call a happy alcoholic. But still, when you drink so much alcohol, it causes cirrhosis of the liver. So it technically ends up giving you a disease. Cigarettes, tobacco problems. You know what I'm saying? It's cancer. Lung cancer. Okay? So these things doesn't remedy our issues. You know what I'm saying? And we have to learn other ways to deal with our problems. You cannot use alcohol and drugs to handle your problems, family. You cannot snort your internal problems away. You cannot huff your internal problems away. Okay? You cannot inhale your internal problems away. You cannot drink your internal problems away, because what you're dealing with is something that's psychological, that is spiritual, and you cannot use a natural substance to handle these problems. I was taught right. I just made poor decisions. Let's just be clear on that. I grew up in the hood and I was taught that stealing was wrong. I was taught that crime was wrong. But Amar, in his younger years, what I wanted to live was what I presented in this title is the glamorous life. You understand? I wanted the riches. I wanted the women. I wanted the fast cars. I wanted the clothes. You know, I wanted the nice kicks. But guess what? It got real when my friends started dying. When my best friend brains got blew out because another one of our own was greedy and he tried to steal what my friend had on. He tried to rob him of what he had on, and him and my friend got into a fight. Okay? And then my friend's hands are nice and he was whooping them real good, and he pulled out a pistol and he shot him. See, what this lifestyle, what that gangster lifestyle is, it's instilling in our people, you know what I'm saying, the lust, covetousness. Life does not consist in abundance of things that one has. What profiteth a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? And a lot of us are just coveting it. We want materialistic things, man. You know what I'm saying? We're so concerned about these things, and our neighborhoods are being destroyed because of greed, because of the love of money. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be hard in this life, but I believe in being hard in a positive way. You know, you need to, study hard. You know what I'm saying? You need to work hard if that's what it takes. Right? And we have to be hard because life is hard. So, you have to be mentally tough. I believe in being hard in that way. But what's destroying us is a hard heart. And these things are desensitizing us to love in our community. These things are destroying us. And there's nothing beautiful. I don't see nothing glamorous about a brother calling our sisters bitches and whores. I don't see nothing glamorous about that, man. I don't see nothing glamorous about that at all. The very thing that we're shunning, family, is the very thing that's destroying us. The very thing that we're shunning, which is moral principles, the very thing that we shun, that we despise, is the very thing that is lacking and that is destroying us. So we have to start taking accountability of what we say and what we do. We have to account for our own actions. And again, this is what's happening to us externally and internally. Right? because everything can't be put on the white man. Now, I know that they may be the ones, you know what I'm saying, that's funding these record deals. I got it. I understand that. I got that. The television networks, I got that. However, check this out. If we were taught proper moral principles, right? And if that was instilled in us and we was taught to love ourselves, that would be an indecent proposal. If you don't know, check the story of Too Short. Check the story of Too Short. The story of Too Short. Too Short said it with his own mouth. He said that they told him to make the filthiest, dirtiest lyrical content that he possibly can, and they'll give him a record deal. Too Short. And so he admitted, man, yo, I was trying to get that money. So he loved money so much to where he started writing these filthy lyrical songs. And what did that cause? The diminishing of how we see our women. The diminishing of our mind, which affected how we view our women. So one of the lethal weapons in our community is gangster rap. We love money so much. We love money so much that we're willing to sell our soul for $1. You know what I'm saying? We want the spotlight so much. We're so hungry and so greedy for money and to wear Louis Vuitton and Gucci, you know, and all these other high-end type of things. You know, we want the Bentleys and the the double R's and all that, right? We want that so much. We're willing to destroy our own selves, to destroy our families. You know what I'm saying? To make our neighborhoods a living hell so we can live heaven. And this is part of the problem, man. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we don't value, listen, the reason why we don't value, you know what I'm saying, our life, is because we taught not to value our lives. We're taught that. We're taught that through gangster rap. We're taught not to value ourselves. We're taught not to value our women. We're taught not to value each other. We're just taught to get money, get fame. That's it. Get paid, get laid. This is the message that's being sent. And then we wonder why our neighborhoods are so corrupt. Because the very thing that's corrupting us, we're not willing to get rid of it. Why? Because it's making us rich. It's programming us to commit suicide. That is not the glamorous life. Being a hustler, being a drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? Being a gangbanger, there's nothing, I've never seen nothing beautiful about it. Our neighborhoods haven't been beautified over these things. I have not seen how gangster rap has helped our neighborhoods. I've only seen our neighborhoods go down. Ever since gangster rap has been birthed, what it did was it birthed destruction in our neighborhoods, man. That's it. So I don't see anything beautiful about it at all. At all, family. I don't see nothing beautiful about it at all. Okay, and before I used to go do the dirt that I was doing, okay, I used to listen to gangster rap. Okay, you know, and it certainly didn't inspire us to do good. It inspired us to go out there and kill somebody. Like when the group Onyx was out. See, I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 this year. And the group Onyx was out when I was younger, right? And you know what that song said? It said, "I hate your guts and I hope that you die." That's what's in their songs. Then the other song, the other part of the song said, "I'm a pistol packing pusher, so you better obey." Now listen to me. I need us to be honest with ourselves, man. How can our young people's minds be in the right place listening to the wrong thing? Then 50 Cent come out with the song, you know what I'm saying? I'm a PIMP. You know what I'm saying? You can't get a nickel out of me. They're calling a woman trick and then raising his hand up. In other words, in a position to smack the woman, to beat the woman down, right? But then these the same artists, when they get an award at the music awards, our people standing up clapping and celebrating the very destruction of ourselves. And we don't pay attention to that. Why? I understand, because we sleep. And this is a thought-provoking message. Look how young Nipsey Hussle is, 33. Look how young Biggie and Tupac were when they passed. They was in their 20s. They were in their 20s. Big L was young too. He was somewhere in that age group as well. They were in their 20s, family. We need to wake up. The thing is, we're not paying attention to what's happening. You know why? Because a lot of us are drugged out, we're high, we're drunk, and we're intoxicated by lies. Lies about ourselves. We've been taught to glorify racist heroes like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. You know what I'm saying? And then we've been taught that these are our founding fathers. And you know what I'm saying? We've been taught to glorify that which hates us. So the only thing that can equate to is us hating ourselves, because we're not being taught to love ourselves. We're being taught to hate ourselves. And then we're being taught to uphold the very one that's teaching us to hate ourselves. And then not only that, we support the ones that's pushing lyrical content that is causing corruption in our community. And we go out and buy this music, all right? And somebody say, well, I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you're guilty. You're still supporting it. You know what I'm saying? We got the radio, we got the radio DJs playing all this stuff, right? They working for the radio broadcast. Then they'll turn right around and bring the Minister Louis Farrakhan on there. Can't you see the counterproduction in that? How are you going to have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan coming on, teaching us to build up our people, and then you turn around and play, you know what I'm saying, this price is way too high, you need to cut it. You turn around and play gangster rap after you bring on the minister. So guess what? Guess what it is? It's just about ratings. It's time for us to hold BET accountable. It's time for us to hold these radio stations accountable. It's time to hold each other accountable. Okay? And a lot of people are afraid to say this because, oh, they don't want their ratings to go down. They don't want people to unsubscribe to their channel. Right? They're so concerned about the likes and the love it's. They love the fame more than they love their own people. And see, I'm calling these people out. Because how can you continue to work for a radio station and get paid to play music that is destroying your own people? Again, greed, the love of money, the love of fame, the love for a great name. We destroy our own neighborhoods. We do that. We throw trash out in the street. We do that. We urinate in our own hallways. We do that. Yeah, we do that. We're the ones stealing from each other and robbing each other and killing each other. And our grandmothers can't even sit on the porch no more. All right. We can't even keep our doors unlocked on the account of something that we're doing to each other. Huh? Listen to me. Listen to me good. You need to take note of what your ancestors did. Our ancestors did, rather. Excuse me. Our ancestors. During the time of boycotting. Don't you know that they quit jobs and they took care of each other? The little bit that they had, the resources that they had. Listen, our ancestors would rather have died than to take a paycheck that's going to continue the destruction of our people. And the proof is in their actions. They laid down their lives so we can be free. They loved us more than they loved money. They loved us so much that they walked off of their jobs and they walked instead of taking a bus. Some of our ancestors even walked off jobs. And they brought their resources together, cooperative economics, and they fought against the oppression of our people. Where is the love, I ask you? You know why it's not there? Because the teaching is not there. And I'm not faulting nobody about this. This is what I'm telling you. I'm highlighting this to you and showing you how did we get there? Because the question is not being asked enough. What happened? What happened from the time of the civil rights movement to now? How many people are asking that question? What happened from the early 1900s up until this point in the 2000s? Where is the love at? There is a big difference from the time of the civil rights movements to now. And you know why? You know why it's not the same? Because the teaching about love is not the same. The people we praise so much, like Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, all right, Assata Shakur, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Shirley Chisholm, Maya Angelou, Coretta Scott King, Betty Shabazz, all of them taught us to love ourselves. And to love ourselves means to love each other, not just individual love. You got to understand self-love is just not loving yourself individually. It's loving us collectively. You got the African over in Africa thinking we the problem. You got us over in the African in America, not African American. You got the African rather in America hating on the African over in Africa because we've been taught that we sold each other. Right? Right? But some of us did, right? That's a historical, check the record. Some people did. You know why? Because of the love of money. They love money more than they love their own people. I mean, hey, even Steve Harvey said when he was talking to Monique, oh, the money, oh, my family. See, listen, man, listen. Somebody has to not be afraid to make a sacrifice. We got too many wimps today. We've been raised to be wimps. We've been raised to love money more than ourselves. We've been raised to lower the flag of freedom and raise the flag of money, of resources over our people. That's what we've been taught. That's what we've been taught. We've been taught to glorify money more than we love our own people. This is the problem, is the teaching. Our ancestors didn't depend upon a European school system to teach us. They taught us our tradition. Huh? So this is what the problem is, family. Oh, you too preachy, brother. You too preachy, you're preaching. Well, they need to hear it. That's another problem. We always tell the people what they want to hear rather than what they need to hear. And lies will never revolutionize our people. We need to hear morals. Our women are not hoes. They are not bitches. They're queens. We're not niggas. Drug dealing and calling our women bitches and whores is lame. It makes us powerless, meaning it gives us less power. That type of lyrical content makes us powerless. It gives us less power. And we got to start teaching our young men and our young women to go to college and get their degrees and bring their information back to our communities. This is what we're not teaching. We're not teaching this enough. We're not teaching this enough, family. We keep telling our youth to go and stand in a line and beg the European to employ us, when we should be teaching them to employ ourselves. Take your nurse practice, dear brother and sister, go back to the hood. Take your doctor practice and go start your practice back in the hood. Go get your degree and start you a school back in the hood. Go find out what it takes to be able to start an accredited college and put the college in the hood and incorporate African studies. We need to start teaching that instead of teaching them to go in a line with their hands out and begging for crumbs. We need to start teaching love instead of hate. You got the ADOS fighting against the Pan-African. You got the Pan-African fighting against the ADOS. Enough is enough. We're family. Period. Point blank. We all got the same issue throughout the diaspora. We all are fighting against colonization, and we all are fighting against a brainwashed mindset. We've been cut off from our culture. We haven't lost. How can you lose your culture? It's not a coin. It can't just fall out your pocket. You can't misplace your culture. We've been cut off from our culture, family. Enough is enough, brothers and sisters. We are not each other's enemy. Wake up. We are wasting our time on buffoonery, meaning entertaining foolishness, meaning that the foolishness is being entertained, and meaning that like gangster rap is buffoonery. It's entertaining foolishness. Calling our women bitches, calling them whores, selling drugs, talking about they the man, always boasting about what they have. So what? Yeah, you got all of that, but your mama and daddy, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, all their life is on the line because of you being a drug dealer. And out in the streets are cold. They don't care about who they kill. They don't care about your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your uncle, and nobody else. So now your life is on the line. Your family life is on the line. Your friends' life is on the line. You putting everybody else's life in danger over your doggone greed, man. And we just glorify them because of what they have, but we don't think about how they got it. We glorify the European, but half of them got what they got off of the back of our ancestors. We don't owe them nothing. Huh? We work for free. Our ancestors, we're the descendants of our ancestors that was enslaved and made to work with no compensation. We don't owe this country nothing. They owe us everything. They tax us. They don't prepare the roads. They don't give us good reading material. They don't give us good schools. So guess what? Just like our ancestors did, they made their own. They created the HBCUs. They created their own colleges. We need to start making money, funding our own communities. Notice I said make money, because you need money to run a community. Enough of this fairy tale mess. We run around here talking about, oh, power to the people. Power means to enable. So what teaching are you giving to the people to empower them to be able to become wealthy? And this is why my wife and I come on these social media outlets and teaching you about real estate. This is the reason why we bring various people on every Monday, all right, teaching about finances and taxes. Because we lack the knowledge. Our people perish for the lack of knowledge. You can't apply something you don't know. So to teach means to impart knowledge. So when you teach somebody something, you're making them aware of something that they don't know. Now that's power to the people, brother. Now that's power to the people, sister. You could talk about black power all day, but how are we going to eat? Huh? Tell me that. Us learning about ourselves is not enough. That's empowering us to have self-confidence, and that's good. But after that, we still got to eat. If a fire happens in our neighborhood, we need somebody to put it out. Don't we need somebody to control the crime too? We need police officers, but guess what? They still got to feed their families. So if we start our own communities, we need money to fund these programs. If you have a fire station, if you have a police officer force, you got to pay them. If you start a school, you got to pay the teachers. You need reading materials. You need papers, pens, all this other stuff. That goes along with having a school. We need money. Not just to learn about what they did in Africa and what our ancestors did back in the day. That's good. We need a conglomeration of all those things rolled up into one, and that's what's going to empower the people. We need financial literacy, knowledge of self, health, and also wealth. So let's be clear. Let's be real. I get tired of the superficial stuff, man. I get tired of the superficial stuff. It's time out. A lot of y'all just running your mouth. Y'all not showing the people nothing by example. What properties are you buying, brother and sister, since you saw about all the people? Huh? Where's your life at? What example are you setting? It's not enough to be on social media and running your mouth. What are you doing in real life? Can you show your people assets? Can you show them anything tangible about what you're talking about? We sure can, and I'm not boasting. My wife and I sure can. We have businesses. We have property. So let's get out of this, just all this talking, and let's be real with the conversation. You understand? Let's get real with the conversation. And guess what? Somebody don't have to go to Africa in order for them to be an African. I don't think some of you understand that. You always want to challenge somebody about if they've been to Africa or not. Negro, read African. Nobody don't have to go visit Africa to be an African. That don't make no sense. You talking like a fool. We're all African. How in the world is somebody going to spend all these thousands of dollars to go to Africa and they don't have no assets? They don't have nothing in their bank account, but you keep pushing, go to Africa, go to Africa, go to Africa. Negro, they need to take care of home first. Then they go to Africa. That's just for you to be exposed to your culture personally. It don't make you no more African because you went to Africa, brother and sister. Let me help some of you arrogant Negroes understand this. Because you're not getting it. What are you going to do? Take away their Africanness because they never been over there? That's a bunch of buffoonery. A bunch of foolishness. Oh, where's your red, green red, black, and green at? Did Malcolm X wear that? Did Elijah Muhammad wear that? Did Stokely Carmichael dress like that all the time? We get so caught up in a bunch of foolishness that Amos Wilson dressed like that all the time. Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark didn't even dress like that all the time. So stop your foolishness, man. Stop all your foolishness. You don't have to go to Africa to be African. You need to understand when they go to Africa, they're just being exposed to their culture personally. We all are still African, period. But you try to discredit a brother and sister because they ain't been yet. Well, I haven't been yet either. Now, what are you doing for the people? Because we've literally started programs in the community, bringing together networks and various people of various occupations and bringing them under one umbrella, introducing the community to their services and buying property in our hood. Check the zip code, homie. My queen and I are buying up property in the hood, doing business with our own people. My barber is black. My dentist is black. I buy Shea Moisturizer, black. My clothes come directly from Africa and from an African-owned and operated business. Our businesses are black-owned and operated, the ones me and my queen run. Our organization is African-owned and operated. Huh? So the question is, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm teaching people and showing them. This is how I'm showing people because we're living it. We're not just talking it, brother and sister. We're living it. The house we live in, ours. We pay a mortgage. Half of you Negroes, I'm getting tired of you. That's why I'm blasting you out of love. I'm getting tired of you. You just talking. You're just running your mouth. You're not serious. You don't have a true revelationary bone in your body. Because as soon as you go around the white man, you shut up. You quiet. You fight for our people, but you're married to a white woman. Oh, the black woman is so beautiful, but you married to somebody that's not even part of your culture. Negro, you're a hypocrite. That's an oxymoron. If the black woman is so beautiful, I'm married to one. I'm married to one. But your wife is white. She's Spanish. Oh, that's close. Negro, not close. Nope. She not African. She not, stop playing. Stop playing, bruh. Stop playing. Okay? Let's stop playing. Either you're in it or you're not. Either you're in this fight or you're not. There's no such thing as being African in private. Check the mirror, home girl. Check the mirror, home boy. Check the mirror, elder. There's no such thing as being African in private. Either you for it or you're not. Because some of you talk African, but you wearing polo. Damn. Some of you African, but you wearing Nautica, and you wearing Champion, but you for the people. Right? So riddle me this. Do you have African pride or don't you? Are you serious about the people or don't you? Are you willing to make a stand for the people or not? Because if you're not, be quiet and move out the way. Because you're just talking. Simple as that. It's time for real accountability in the community. It's just that simple. It's time for this foolishness to be erased from our community. So let's put wisdom up and negativity down. Positivity up, negativity down. Wisdom up. Let's get foolishness out. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Hear me, family. Let's go to work. Let's put the work in. Let's stop having our hand out, but you don't want to share nobody else's stuff. I got to call you out. You on everybody else's page. You want them to do everything for you, but you don't do nothing for nobody else. You don't share nobody else's stuff. But you want everybody to share your stuff, though. Hey, man, could you share this for me? You want people to bring you on their program. Negro, you don't invite nobody on yours. It's always give me, give me, give me, give me, but we don't want to give, man. So I got to call you out to bring you out. If that pertains to you, then oh well, you be all right. We good. I'm right here. We can talk. You know where to find me. Let's talk. But enough is enough of now us holding each other accountable. It's time for us to hold each other accountable because we're doing more damage to each other than a white man is. And that's straight up with all this foolishness. We need to come together as one. Peace.